Yo, I'm sitting here, man. I'm trying to rest up injury-wise and all that, so the cat is up here, relaxing on the recliner. Anyway, video I want to speak on. I want my men, there's a lot of grievances out here that men have. A lot. A lot of things that cause people to switch and go to these different groups. Become, disengaged with whatever stuff that's happening on. You got the whole battle of the sexes with women and men. But I want to really emphasize on this point here. A lot of these grievances that you hear are not your experiences. And that's the point that you need to make sure that you fully understand is a lot of these folks that are spewing whatever stuff that they're spewing. That's not your life. That's not your experience. So what happens is that I hear a lot of these men that when they're speaking, whether they're speaking on some kind of podcast or they're speaking on their videos, I hear them giving out these examples, not even examples. I hear them giving out these points of what they believe is going on when it comes to battle of the sexes or their political viewpoints or how they feel about their mental state. I hear men espousing, I don't even know if that's the word. I think it's espousing all of this stuff that they've never experienced before. They haven't experienced none of this stuff. They're just basically reciting what they hear. And if you're that type of man, then you're forever going to be a follower. You're never going to be a leader. You're never going to be somebody who's independent because you're getting your information from what other folks are talking about. You're being influenced by what other folks are saying that they're getting it, they're engaging with, that they're experiencing. And that's total trash. You need to experience it. If something happened with a female and you experienced that heartbreak and you went through the ups and downs and stuff like that, okay. But for you to come on and talk about, women are this and women are that, they're gold diggers and, they don't show any compassion and all they do is, they want men to pay for them and stuff like that, but you never experienced that? How the freak are you coming up with that conclusion? Really, how are you coming up with that conclusion when that never happened to you? Most of these men, and I'm going to speak on that, most of these men have never even engaged with none of these women, or engaged in women, period. That's why we have part of the issue of folks saying that there's a loneliness pandemic. So how are you speaking on women about what has occurred with women when you never even experienced that in the first place because you're the one who's talking about you're lonely? Come on, man, make it make sense. That's the problem. As it relates to all these other grievances that these men have out here that are talking about immigrants are taking these jobs and these other cultures that are taking their jobs. If you haven't experienced it, how are you going to sit up here and come to that conclusion that that's accurate information? But yet you let all of this social media stuff, all these folks that are on these platforms spew this nonsense and you've never experienced it before. The only type of job replacement that I had known about when I was working with my business was that my corporation started to outsource a lot of the jobs to these other countries. That's what I knew about some job replacements. But internally in the States here, I wasn't seeing that. My experience, I wasn't seeing that. Again, now, if you experienced it yourself, that you saw some immigrant or some other race take over your job or take over jobs that were in your particular company, that's one thing. But 9 times out of 10, most of these men have not seen that. What they do is they're latching on to these other talking points. They're looking for the excuse. They're looking to have that grievance. They're looking for that confirmation. Something to be mad about. And that's what I talk about in this channel, why I try to speak as much positivity as I can. Because men are getting sucked into this negative nonsense. You're looking for something to be angry about. You're looking for someone to hate. You're looking for there to be some kind of conflict. And that, unfortunately, is somewhat of what our makeup is. Where you have folks who know better. The folks that are running these systems, and they know that they can tap into those grievances. They can tap into those emotions that men have. And once they tap into it, they grab you and they find that little insecurity that you have. And then you start having that confirmation where all of a sudden it's like, yep, see, that's exactly what is going on. But you never seen it. You never experienced it. But I don't know what that word is. Not a hypochondriac. It's like a paranoia or something where you have a disease or someone has a disease, and then you look up the symptoms of that disease and then you think you have it. Don't even know whether or not the freak you have it. You didn't go to the doctor and you didn't get no diagnosis for it, but you all of a sudden believe that you freaking have it. It's a paranoia. It's something that there's a word out there. I can't remember what the word is, but you believe that you have it. Never actually got any confirmation about it, but you believe you have it. That's the same exact thing that's going on right now, where you and everybody else that you see, if you're one of those men who believe that nonsense that's being spewed out there, you never experienced it, but you believe that it's happening. And I'm telling you that before you sit up here and start spewing out this nonsense, you need to go experience it for yourself. You need to actually be in that particular experience for yourself, not what somebody else told you, not what your friend told you, not what no other coworker told you. You experience it. You lost your job, you turn around and you see that an immigrant took it or some other race took it. That's what I want you to be able to come and be able to say that, yeah, you know what? That's really happening. That's what I want you to be able to come with. It really did happen to you. If it didn't happen to you, then why are you sitting up here listening to this nonsense? Because that's exactly what it is. It's nonsense. It's what you want to be able to harness as the excuse for why things aren't happening in your life, why things are occurring in this world, instead of looking back at yourself and seeing that maybe the corporation that you were working for is trying to be cheap and they're trying to cut out whatever expenses they can using technology and outsourcing your stuff, and that you have to figure out what change that you have to adapt to now in order to enhance and try to change your life. Because all these other places are going to do what they're going to do for themselves. You got to do for yourself. So that's my issue. That's my little point that I want to bring about, is stop talking about what you hear. Tell me, when you get on these podcasts and stuff like that, tell me what you really experienced. And then I'll say if it's valid. Then I'll believe it's valid. Until then, man, you on that herd mentality type stuff. You really are. You know what I mean? On that note, I can't go to the park like I said, yo. I'm sitting here chilling, resting, but I'm going to catch you on the next note. Peace out.